Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw News Brief. We have an avalanche of news today, Larson, so let's just start getting into it. I guess I'll kick things off with, of course, a couple hours ago, as of the time of we're filming this, Matt Riddle posted a video on the Twitter this morning addressing the allegations made against him by the wrestler Candy Cartwright last month. These transcripts come to you from WrestleZone and TMZ. I've actually watched the video. Larson, have you watched the video?
I have not had an opportunity to watch the video. I have read transcripts.
Okay. I mean, it's basically just a selfie video of him. Like, he does these kind of videos all the time, but obviously this is a bit heavier. We'll just let his words speak for himself. He said this: "I never in my life have sexually assaulted a man, woman, or anybody, and that includes Samantha Tavel, Candy Cartwright. I never sexually assaulted you. That story about that van trip and the driver being asleep and me forcing you to do stuff, hop on, whatever, it's a complete lie. It's a fabricated story because you're still mad. You know why you're mad? Because, yes, you're right. We had an affair. You have plenty of evidence of that, and I never denied it because it happened. Do I want to talk about it? Do I really want to share about it? No, it's embarrassing. I feel like a real piece of crap for cheating on my wife and doing that and now having to talk about it publicly. We had a relationship. We had a fling. I started to get sad and depressed because I was lying to my wife so much to hide what I was doing. I was lying to all my friends because I didn't want anybody to know because it's not something cool. I didn't want to brag about it." He says, "I tried to end it. I told my wife about you and us. I tried to end it. I blocked you. I blocked your social media." He says, "At the end of the day, I'm not perfect. I did have an affair and I'm not happy about it, but I never sexually abused anybody. I never sexually assaulted anybody. And when I wanted to get out of this relationship, out of this situation, she said no and kept pursuing me and harassing me and stalking me. And then when she didn't get her way, she used the speak out movement to try to ruin my career." So yeah, he put that out there. Obviously this was out there. It was sort of, a cloud over his SmackDown debut.
Yes.
We had to talk about it back then.
Yes.
Larson, what are your thoughts on this?
Apparently this is something we had heard that WB was aware of, as we heard at the time years ago, or back when, word first started coming out about this. So, I mean, I don't know how that would play into how believable WB thinks Riddle is.
Given that's a really good point. I mean, given that they have disciplined and fired other wrestlers, specifically NXT UK, and Jack Gallagher, who was on 205, I think. Obviously in those cases, they found reason to believe that the accusers were telling the truth. Obviously, dude, this is a messy situation.
Yes.
I wrote down some thoughts on it. I'm not going to just read lines, but it is more helpful to write down what I'm thinking than just to ramble.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way. I think it's easier to talk about this kind of stuff more definitively when there's overwhelming evidence, when there's multiple accusers, when there's a pattern of behavior. With this story in particular, there's none of that. It's literally just he said, she said. And the other thing about talking about this is that you don't want to delegitimize scores of other women who have their own stories about other wrestlers with the whole speaking out thing. I would just say this, I know there are probably people out there who are like, "Hey, Steve and Larson, what do you think about this? What do you think about the he said, she said?" It's not responsible for us to say, "Here's what I think about it," because we're in some position of influence. And I just think that it's kind of irresponsible to do that. She's given her side of it. He's given her side of it. As an individual, I would say it's up to you to then, process that and then go about your business in terms of being a wrestling fan or a fan of Matt Riddle's or not a fan of Matt Riddle's. I have my thoughts, but again, I don't feel it's responsible for me to be talking about that stuff. Same. When I just don't want to be an influence when other people should just use their own their own thought processes on how to deal with it.
Exactly.
So that's how
exactly. I mean, throughout a lot of this, we try. We've tried to keep our, in a lot of ways, our thoughts about particular things out of it, because for that reason, and also because there's potential liability issues
for sure. Yeah.
For us to comment on a lot of specifics of these publicly. So we've been trying to not do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's this situation, as I'm 100% agreement of what you said. It's messy. It's a he said, she said situation. And as you said, you got to process the information and make your own determination, and just go from there. That's pretty much what you can do.
Yeah. Next up, a little bit, obviously a lot more lighthearted than this. The game Triple H, he's talking about the Wednesday Night Wars again, man. The game spoke with Sports Illustrated's Justin Barrasso about counter-programming NXT's Great American Bash against AEW's Fyter Fest. What did he say, Larson?
He said, it absolutely is part of a healthy competition. Anyone that thinks it isn't to a degree is being naive to the situation. You saw that back in the day when Clash of Champions was counter-programming to WWE's WrestleMania 4. At the same point, it can't drive your booking decisions. Obviously, there are some counter-programming decisions, but I can tell you exactly how this came about. Almost all these storylines were headed where they are now. There was a gap, timing-wise, between In Your House and what will become the SummerSlam takeover, and you need a halfway point and a build. This is that halfway point, so it doesn't change our decision-making process. I don't counter-book. I book what's right for NXT. So the general thing he's saying is, I don't book to counter AEW, but I might counter-program how we market our show to counter the marketing of their show.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I doubt he's going to make any big moves just to counter AEW's big moves in terms of the story. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about more of that tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's obvious that, putting on look, the Great American Bash this is what he's saying. It's nothing more than a marketing tool. Yes. That's all it is. It's a hook. I do wonder if booking philosophies, although I do think they remain the same, I wonder if they would shift in increments of like a matter of weeks.
Oh, nudge something a little plus or minus 2 weeks to potentially counter something. It might have always been in the cards to go a certain direction, but maybe we'll accelerate this or slow this down to counter whatever AEW.
If there's a certain window, that they wanted to pull the trigger on something, yeah. It's entirely possible. So yeah, that's that's interesting stuff. It's always interesting to hear where the game is coming from in these Wednesday Night Wars. These huge battles over ratings, Larson. Let's continue to talk about ratings.
Oh, ratings. Wow, ratings, man.
and
fascinating, exciting stuff.
Yeah, and Raw continuing to set new records, record lows, that is, because, of course, according to ShowBuzzDaily.com, they had another low. This is terrible, man. Monday, WWE Raw, average audience 1.687 million. Okay, so it says the second lowest total.
Yeah.
What was the lowest total audience?
I think it was the May 4th episode.
Okay, so just a couple months.
At some point this year, I remember.
Yeah.
I read it amongst the stuff earlier today. I think it was May 4th was the lowest. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in this case it was. I know the second hour reached a high of like 1.75, and then it went back down to like 1.692, but it started out like 1.612 or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
It's really bad.
It is so really bad.
It's I mean, we've tried our best to find the silver lining in it, but God, man, I miss the fans. They were so integral to like, I mentioned like probably the biggest thing for me right now is the Sasha Bailey stuff.
Oh, yeah. They've been doing so well with that.
The fans would totally be, I don't want to say dictating how that's going to play out, but they would definitely add tons of intrigue. The fans are it's such an important element.
I just had a thought. It could be nothing. But given how people's habits are changing, not just viewing habits, but habits overall, in this pandemic age we're living in, people aren't going out. People are I assume, ingesting entertainment differently and maybe more often than they were prior. With work schedules being all messed up, a lot of people working from home. And I wonder if the lack of an live audience is probably part of the reason the ratings have dropped, because the viewing experience is different. But if people are approaching their entertainment ingestion differently, now that their schedules are different, maybe they got out of the routine of sitting down in front of the couch Monday nights to watch Raw. It's like, oh, wow, there's a new season of Dark on Netflix. Maybe I'll watch this.
It's entirely possible. I mean,
I don't know.
The amount of competition out there for eyeballs is ever increasing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Quibi, for one thing.
Oh, gosh. Well, I mean, there's that, but there's also people just getting out of habits that they've been in
for
a long time. So
and on top of that, like, I think if you compound that with the fact that wrestling just isn't as good without fans, then I was talking to our old buddy John Carl last night, and he says he ain't turned on wrestling in ages. And I mean, the inference was pandemic, because it's weird and awkward. So yeah, this is not surprising. I just hope that WWE, I mean, honestly, just selfishly for our sake, I hope that they're able to recover from this, because when the excitement in wrestling is there, people tune in more to stuff like us,
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, SummerSlam is coming up. Of course, going to be another weird empty arena thing, and of course, everybody's kind of curious. What are Randy Orton's SummerSlam plans?
What are the Vipers playing? So
Wrestle
Talk. Man. Yeah, Wrestle Talk might have an idea. So with Edge, Orton's rumored SummerSlam opponent, recuperating from triceps injury, and Randy's pitches to work with either Adam Cole or Tommaso Ciampa apparently falling on deaf ears. It looks like Randall might be challenging for a title at the biggest party of the summer. Wrestle Talk's reporting that, quote, sources have told us that while Orton has been pitching to work with NXT stars, a likely plan as of right now for him or SummerSlam is to feud with WWE champion Drew McIntyre. While a match with Drew seems to be the way WWE is leaning at this instance, Wrestle Talk adds that, quote, we've also been told by our sources that just because Orton versus Cole or Ciampa likely won't be happening at SummerSlam, that doesn't mean that isn't something WWE could come back to at a later date.
Ooh. Yeah, again, this is the kind of thing that fans would see. The kind of work Orton's doing right now and the kind of work that Drew McIntyre's doing right now, fans would be eating this alive.
Mm-hmm.
This would be great. This is absolutely great. If we, I'm sure it'll be good. I'm sure maybe that they'll give that one the cinematic treatment. I don't know. Maybe they'll give it like the greatest match ever kind of treatment, where they just add a couple angles and pipe in some. Hey, are they piping in crowd noise on Raw just on a regular basis now? I feel like they are too.
They are.
I noticed that on Monday.
I feel like ever since Backlash, they've been doing that.
All right, Larson. Battlegrounds, WWE Battlegrounds. The new trailer is out. Have you seen it?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it looked fun.
So you're all in. You're gonna buy it?
It's not $60, so that increases the odds I'm going to buy it. It's only $40. Standard edition, $40.
That was announced. Oh, yeah, because it's for pre-order, huh? Mm-hmm. You know what would have wrote me in and they didn't do it, so I don't care? Customization. They didn't say. They said brawl against legends, brawl against superstars. Apparently, there's a goat.
There was a goat.
There was a goat.
Plus, we've seen crocodiles or alligators. That's the plus.
But if I can't see Steve V. Larson in Battlegrounds, I'll play your copy. They probably have it online, right? I think it said you could battle against friends online.
That's kind of.
I think it said that in the trailer.
Yeah, that's kind of a standard thing these days. Is some semblance of online play.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe We'll see. We'll do like a thing on Twitch.
Wait to see more stuff about it. Get more information and go from there. Gather information and make an educated decision further down the line. I'm not going to pre-order, that's for sure.
Speaking of educated decisions, we've got Great American Bash Night 2 and Fighter Fest Night 2. Join us for our Great American Bash live reactions.
Yes.
YouTube.com/Steve and Larson, and then immediately following on Twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. our recap review of that show, and then tomorrow, of course, AEW. But let's go ahead and give our informal no titles on the line predictions, Larson.
I believe after week 1, night 1, we were tied. I think it was
I had Jurassic Express winning. I think that was different from you, and then
then I had one different on NXT that went my way.
Ah.
I think in the end it was wash.
I can
double check though.
This batch of matches seem pretty obvious. I would be actually kind of shocked. Oh, by the way, the NXT title shot, we're gonna null that out.
Yeah,
we're nulling that one out because you and I both saw the spoiler. So let's just dive into this, man.
All right, go ahead.
First up, Great American Bash, Isaiah Swerve Scott versus John Gargano.
Before we continue, though, you had Robert Stonebrand beating Rhea. I picked Rhea, so I picked up one on you there, but then you got the Jurassic Express beating MJF and Wardlow, so yes, wash.
I think I don't think we're going to have any differences of opinion here. Well, there might be one match. I got John Gargano going over here.
Yeah, John.
What is the dude's name? Drake Maverick and Breezango versus Legado del Fantasma. Easy
Fantasma,
one.
Man.
Legado del Fantasma.
Yeah, man.
This next one is probably the only one where it's possible we're going to differ. But I'm going to go with the HBIC Mia Yim. Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae.
We are different then because Candice needs a W. Desperately. She desperately needs a win.
Yeah. Okay.
Desperately.
Right. Okay.
Is this like a street fight too?
Yeah, it's a street fight. That always helps the heel, but it's HBIC, man. I can't go against her. And then null. Adam Cole versus Keith Lee. Null.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's the right term to use here. And then over on,
I guess that means they're just striking it.
Right? Yeah. Null.
Striking it.
Yeah.
Striking it. I think you just like the sound of the word.
I do. Fyter Fest Night 2. Omega and Page versus Private Party.
Omega and Page are winning. Should be a good match, though.
Oh, it should be a terrific match. Should be a lot of fun. Yeah, I got Omega and Page also. This next one, the only question here for Lance Archer versus Joey Janela is, will Joey Janela escape alive?
Well, I mean, they've already taped this, so I assume if something bad had happened, we'd have heard about it by now. So Lance Archer wins.
Yeah, big time. Easily.
Joey's gonna take at least 2 really nasty bumps. So.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be ugly. It's gonna be really ugly. I mean, maybe we'll differ on this one. Dark Order versus SCU. I feel like this has to be Dark Order. This is Brody Lee.
It totally has to be Dark Order. Yeah, they're doing the story with Colt and Brody Lee, so it's got to be Dark Order. Totally.
Yeah, Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy.
It's got to be Chris Jericho.
100% Chris Jericho. That's correct.
He was really hyping up this match, so I just hope the match is fun.
Wouldn't that be rad? Wouldn't that be? He could afford a loss to Orange Cassidy. Wouldn't that be great?
Oh yeah, he could.
Wouldn't that be great? They should do that, but they're not going to. And then FTR and the Young Bucks, the Bucks of Youth, versus the Lucha Bros, Butcher and the Blade. In my heart of hearts, I will be rooting so hardcore for the Butcher, the Blade, Pentagon, and Rey Fénix.
Phoenix, yes.
Pero no victoria for those guys. Instead. FTR and the Young Bucks.
Agreed.
They're going to go over.
So it's all coming down to Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae for week 2. Actually, for the whole 2 weeks of predictions. Granted, nothing's on the line, but just for fun.
Yeah. There's it's fun. Anyways, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.